yes, news. My name is Mean Marky T. Pile-driving geeks. Since 1973, the biggest mark in the IWC. Tonight on AEW Dynamite. Wait a minute. What? TakeOver? NXT? You people usually call me in on a Wednesday night to do AEW Dynamite. You mean to tell me you called me in on a Wednesday night to do another WWE program? It's WrestleMania week. I don't care if it's the week where you actually were praised on your wrestling ability, Dana. Who wants to talk WWE after Monday Night Raw? I don't know any of these wrestlers. Dexter Loomis. Why does he look like a serial killer? Leon Ruff. This guy's a professional wrestler. This guy looks like he should star in the remake of Good Burger, serving milkshakes and French fries. Whoa! Now we're talking. Io Shirai and RAQUEL Gonzalez. How you doing, honey? You know, many people ask me what the D in Mean Marky D stands for. What do you want, Dana? What? What do you want from my life? I can't say that. It's my show. I can say and do as I please. We can't get JD from New York in trouble? Well, yeah, I guess you're right. Finally, Dana, for once in your life. God only knows some low-class, poor, smelly, pimply-faced, snaggle-toothed, emo, social justice warrior, emo haircut, virgin fuck, with a terrible taste in wrestling and music, Billy K. Stan account, will probably clip this show and use it against him. Yes, Dana, for once in your life, you are correct. All right, guys, you know what? I'll tell you what. I don't know much personally about NXT. This is all very new to me. So let me brush up on NXT and what's going on here. And we will be right back after this small musical commercial break. And I think you guys are gonna know this one.
It's just one of those days we don't want to wake up. Everything is fine, everybody's done. You don't really know why, but you ain't got to fight. No human contact. If you interact, you like an on contract. You best bet to stay away, motherfucker. Stop the he said bullshit. I think you better quit, let shit slip. You'll be legal with a fat lip. Stop the he said bullshit. I think you better quit.
and gentlemen, welcome back to OTS News. And what you just heard were the sweet sounds of my friends over at Werewolves. And that was their cover of Limp Bizkit's Great Stuff. Tonight on NXT TakeOver, we have the big man, Walter. He defends the NXT UK Championship against Tommaso, Ciampa. And according to sources, this was JD's #1 preferred match of the entire evening. Also, we have a great women's championship match tonight as Io Shirai defends that NXT Women's Championship against Raquel Gonzalez. Is Io doomed for a main roster demotion, or did she retain the title against NXT's biggest up-and-coming women's superstar? And the NXT Tag Team Championships were on the line tonight as Legado del Fantasma went up against MSK and the Grizzled Young Veterans. Did the young upstarts get the win, or did the veterans get the win and finally become the NXT Tag Team Champions? Tonight's drink specials, ladies and gentlemen, Raquel's Raspberry Sour. This is a Belgian-style ale fermented with raspberries. This one has a 9.8 ABV. And if you want to know what it feels like to get your ass kicked by Raquel Gonzalez, have a couple of these bad boys, and you'll be laying next to Io Shirai tonight, licking your wounds after TakeOver. Tonight's food special is T.O.'s Smoked Turkey Sandwich. Now, this is a smoked turkey breast, spinach, red onion, cheddar, and sweet chili mayo on a sourdough bun with a side of rosemary sea salt chips. Or you could go the conventional route and get your standard, boring, plain, regular French fries. But I prefer the rosemary sea salted chips. Ladies and gentlemen, the show is about to begin. This is your NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver post-show right here on OTS with your host, JD from New York.
NXT stood up and delivered. We are live, man. Night 1 of NXT TakeOver. Stand and Deliver is officially in the books. And damn, was it a good wrestling show tonight. In the main event, Io Shirai defends the NXT Women's Championship against Raquel Gonzalez. Is Io about to get buried by Bruce? MSK, the Grizzled Young Veterans, and Legado del Fantasma battle over the vacant NXT Tag Team titles. Walter and his overhand chop take on Tommaso Ciampa as he defends the NXT UK Championship. And who has gone on to challenge Johnny TakeOver on night 2 of Stand and Deliver? We're going to talk about it all, ladies and gentlemen, as we break this thing down. Gonna give you my opinion of NXT for the first time in a long time on Wednesday night. It's time to stand up and deliver the best podcast in the entire IWC. This is your NXT TakeOver post show on Off the Script. What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me on the NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver post show for April 7th, 2021. I am your host, JD from New York. We are live on a Wednesday night for the first time in a long time covering NXT and not AEW. I wanted to cover NXT tonight because it obviously is the most important of the two shows. I'm not leaving out my AEW brethren. I'm not leaving out my AEW elitists. I will be covering AEW tomorrow afternoon with Jesse. We already discussed what we're going to be doing. And tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, I will be live on YouTube with Jesse tomorrow with your, as usual, AEW Dynamite post-show. And we're going to be covering everything from Jericho's promo tonight, which I know, I predicted it for months now, so I know exactly what Jericho said tonight and what came of that promo. We're going to be covering that and the main event of tonight's show, Jon Moxley and the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers. And then obviously the appearance of Mike Tyson, which I really did not like. AEW brought Mike Tyson in to combat NXT tonight. Just felt desperate, but AEW will be live tomorrow. Jesse and I on Off the Script, 1 p.m. Set your watches, set your smartphones, set your notifications on YouTube. We will be here. I made a stink on Off the Script about a 2-night NXT TakeOver. I actually like a 2-night WrestleMania. I wish WWE would keep a 2-night WrestleMania for the duration. I just think it suits the weekend better. I think it makes WrestleMania feel bigger. I think it gives WrestleMania more time to breathe. I didn't understand the 2-night TakeOver, though. I get why they did it. I get why WWE needed to do a 2-night TakeOver. They moved to Peacock. They want to intrigue people to sign up. I know. NXT didn't need a 2-night TakeOver. NXT was never about putting people on a pay-per-view or putting people on a special event like a TakeOver just for the sake of putting people on a TakeOver. TakeOver was so important to NXT that I feel like, and this could go for everything else during the pandemic, TakeOver was ruined. TakeOver lost a lot of its appeal when the pandemic hit. NXT lost a lot of appeal. AEW has lost a lot of appeal. I know fans are the lifeblood of the product, both NXT and AEW equally. Seems like creative has kind of drifted off into doing whatever the fuck they want to do with logic gaps everywhere on both NXT and AEW side. The fact that they're operating out of the same venue as well, AEW operating out of Daly's Place, which I have pleaded for them to just get up and go. NXT's operating out of the CWC, the old Performance Center. They are no longer operating out of Full Sail University. The sameness of these shows, especially for their pay-per-views on AEW, working out of Daly's Place, NXT working TakeOver inside the Capitol Wrestling Center. Everything just feels like it's all the same shit. So I was dreading a two-night TakeOver. But I gotta give WWE, I gotta give Triple H, I gotta give his team credit. I gotta give them credit. The Capitol Wrestling Center looked fantastic tonight. It looked great. From the set, from the stage, to the ramp leading to the ring. I love how they take the normal aisleway at the CWC and kind of up the game for the pay-per-views. They add that long black ramp. It really does make the entire set look different. I know we're still in the Capitol Wrestling Center, but I love the little attention to detail that they do for these TakeOver shows with that long black ramp. And they don't really bring it out for the regular TV tapings. They just save it for TakeOver. The set looked great. Got that big skull right in the center of the aisleway, which was obviously used tonight in the main event. And Io Shirai is a crazy motherfucker. Love her. And then the virtual geeks inside the quote-unquote Thunderdome, well, the virtual screens, they were there. But the big thing that WWE did tonight was that they allowed more fans in attendance for TakeOver tonight, more so than they usually do for a regular NXT TV taping. And my God, man, it was night and day. Fight Forever chants. They sounded genuine. They weren't piped in from the push of a button, you know. I'm not even sure if, Beaver Fuck actually works NXT. He probably does for all we know. Fight Forever chants sounded genuine. This is awesome chants sounded genuine. NXT chants sounded genuine. Everything sounded genuine, man. For the first time in a long time, a WWE show sounded genuine. And we didn't need the push of a button from WWE management to tell us what to do, what to say, who to boo, and who to cheer. It was great. It was great. The one thing I don't like about NXT, and believe me, I watch weekly. I know what they do weekly, okay? I might not talk about it extensively. That's going to change on Tuesday. We'll be live every Tuesday with NXT live streams on the channel, okay? I don't like the fact that on the hard camera side, you got those plexiglass cages where the fans are. You got them all around ringside, from where the commentary team is, the timekeeper's area, all the way to the hard cam and what you're looking at, all the way to the aisleway. But on the opposite side, where you don't see, they don't have any gates or plexiglass. So it's like, why are you doing it over there, but you can't do it on the other side? I thought we were all about protecting the fans in attendance, and there were a lot of people sitting on the non-hard camera side. So I don't like that. I honestly think it takes away. It makes it look a little bit more rugged. But after a while, it's like, I want to see the fans legitimately getting up and cheering. Because it's one thing to hear the fans. It's another thing to see them react. We hear them, but you could barely see anybody reacting. All you could do is hear them banging on the fucking plexiglass like a bunch of caged animals. The other thing I didn't like about tonight's show, and there is not much that I'm going to talk about that I don't like, because tonight was a very good show. The only other thing that I did not like about tonight's show was the fact that I do feel like it was rushed for whatever reason. I don't know if it's just me, but some of these matches felt rushed. I felt like the Kushida-Pete Dunne match to open the show was rushed. It went about 11 minutes. Those guys could have easily went 20. I know why they didn't go 20, but it just felt like it was thrown on the card for the sake of it being on the card. And you could have given more time to Io and Raquel. You could have given more time to the tag team title match. I don't know why that match needed to be on the show. I felt like that match, which had basically no story at all going into tonight, was just there. Now, if you look at that on paper, you're probably asking yourself, wow, this is a great fucking match. How could this not be a great match? But there's no story going into a Pete Dunne Kushida match. Why would you put it on TakeOver for the sake of getting them on TakeOver? Why don't you just save that for the big homecoming on Tuesday night and let those guys go 15 minutes? I don't know why you needed that on the show. It felt like that one match being included kind of made everything else feel rushed. By the time we got to the main event and Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai, it was on my time, my clock, on my cable box, it was 9:51. And then I'm thinking, are they going to give WWE an overrun? Or is this show going to end promptly at 10 o'clock, being that it's being double broadcast on the WWE Network and Peacock? Or on USA, rather. USA Network and Peacock. They gave them a 5-minute overrun, which is fine, but I still feel like the show was rushed for whatever reason. This was an awesome show tonight. At the end of it, I don't think it's going to be a bad thing that we got a 2-night takeover. I would not make it a thing moving forward because I still do feel like whatever WWE could do in 2 nights, or whatever they're going to tell you they're going to do in 2 nights, they could easily do in 1. This could have been a 3.5-hour show, 4-hour show. I don't mind watching a show that's 3.5 hours, 4 hours if it's quality television. Don't give me an 8-hour fucking show where 75% of it I couldn't give a single shit about. But at the end of this weekend, I don't think many of us are going to complain about an NXT TakeOver being 2 nights. Tonight was a fantastic show, and we're going to break this thing down like we usually do on Off the Script. One other thing of note, for you guys that are watching me right now live on YouTube, I don't know where you watched NXT TakeOver tonight. Many of you probably just, out of habit, watch the USA Network. I was watching the pre-show. I was watching Zoe Stark and Toni Storm on the pre-show. Very good match. And I tuned in around 7:20 after I had finished eating dinner, and the pre-show match had started. And then they said, stick with us on Peacock. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver is coming up. And I'm like, all right. I didn't realize it was going to be on Peacock and the USA Network. I thought it was going to be on USA Network night 1 and then Peacock on night 2. So I stood with Peacock, and I'm glad that I did, because if you guys watched on Peacock, there was no commercial breaks at all. It was kind of annoying if you watched it on Peacock because the interruptions during the show, if they were going to commercial break on the USA Network, on the Peacock side of things, the screen would black out for about 3 seconds, and then you would hear dead air for about 3 seconds. Vic Joseph and Wade Barrett with Beth Phoenix would come back in. They would commentate on Peacock, and while that was happening, you were watching a picture-in-picture commercial on USA Network. And then when they came back to live action on USA Network, then on Peacock, they would say, we're back live on the USA Network. It was a mixed bag for both networks. So I stayed with Peacock. I don't know where you guys watch it, but if you watch it on USA, you got picture-in-picture. If you watch it on Peacock, you got the full deal. No interruptions whatsoever except 3-second blackout of a screen when they went to commercial on the USA Network side of things. So I watched it on Peacock. I don't know where you guys did. I'm glad that I stuck with the new service that I just signed up for. We're going to break this thing down, man. I don't have much news as far as NXT news. I got more news for NXT going into tomorrow's night 2. So we're going to stick to the basics here. We're going to stick to our guns and just break this thing down, talk about possible storylines moving forward and outcomes tonight. Were they right? Were they wrong? And we're going to do that tonight here on the podcast, man. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on YouTube. We are live, 1,400 live in the chat. Thank you so very much. I know this is Not like normal on Wednesday night. Usually I'm here with that other geek that I usually do the podcast with, Jesse, a.k.a. my good friend Jesse. Like I said, we'll be back on YouTube 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, so set your notifications for that. Next Tuesday, NXT moves officially to Tuesday night. I will be here covering NXT once again live weekly, so make sure you guys are aware of that as well. An extra day of off-the-script content here on the channel. Follow me on social media. That's Twitter and Instagram. That is at JDfromNY206. Make sure you guys go and hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. If you guys want to support the podcast, there are several ways to do that. Number one, you guys can actually go and check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. Anything you missed is linked in the description below. So make sure you guys go and do that. Patreon is a great way to support the show as well. Patreon.com/JDfromNY206. Thank you to all the patrons that signed up last month. You guys are going to be getting some nice care packages in the next week to week and a half as Hoop Media is getting those prepared for you. There was a little delay in getting those out because we had a little issue, but the issue is solved now. And we will be sending those out to you guys immediately. So thank you very much for all of your patience and all of your support. If you guys want to go get some t-shirts, bonfire.com is the exclusive home of Off the Script. That is linked down below in the description. Mouthmasker.com/OTS. Go and get your black and white Off the Script masks. And if you guys want to check out the sponsor for today's video, Honey is sponsoring the podcast today. That is joinhoney.com/offthescript, the #1 web browser extension that is going to save you money when you shop online. I use it. Everybody else should be using it as well. I love saving money, and I know you guys want to do the same thing, man. Joinhoney.com/offthescript. Make sure you guys go and do that to support Honey through the podcast right here tonight on OTS. Gonna start with the pre-show, man. Zoe Stark versus Toni Storm was the pre-show on Peacock/YouTube. WWE also aired this on their YouTube channel. I said this on the Weekend's podcast on a few different occasions, and I think she's awesome. Toni Storm is awesome. I don't get Toni Storm as a heel. I don't really get it. WWE clearly doesn't have any plan for her. That is apparent to everybody who watches this show. They got no plans for her. I feel like she's the odd woman out. There is a hierarchy in WWE as far as the women's division goes. It went from Io to Raquel tonight. Then you got your Zoe Starks, who Toni wrestled tonight. You got your Candice LeRae's, you got your Shotzi Blackhearts, you got your Ember Moons, and Toni Storm seems to be lost in the shuffle here on Wednesday nights, now moving to Tuesday. What exactly is Toni Storm doing on NXT television? Why is she a heel? I feel like WWE simply turned her heel because they needed more competition that was ready for Io at the time, and it didn't really benefit Toni Storm in the long run. Io was still champion. Nobody was beating Io. They obviously had that reserved for Raquel Gonzalez, but Toni Storm turned heel to simply lose to Io because Io needed heel challengers, which there wasn't a lot of because they made these fucking tag team championships, which is an absolute waste of fucking time. I'll never let that one go, man. The NXT Women's Tag Team Championships are fucking worthless. It's a waste of time. Instead of giving the division NXT Women's Tag Team Championship, what you really should have done is make another mid-card singles title for the ladies. So the likes of Toni Storm and a Candice LeRae and a Shotzi Blackheart and an Ember Moon and a Mercedes Martinez could all battle for something while the main event ladies are doing what they need to do. No, but you want to create women's tag team championships and piece these non-tag teams together and then boast about, oh, this is the most competitive division in all of the world. Clearly, you didn't need tag team titles. They can't even get it right on the main roster. You want to do it now on NXT? Give me a break. Toni Storm, with inclusion of this tag team championship, is now floating in a sea of nothing. Zoe Stark, I don't get it. Zoe Stark has been mega pushed. And yeah, she suffered losses along the way, but what other woman can you recall that has been brought to the main roster, that just got signed, was announced for one of the recent classes at the Performance Center, then made their way to TV within a month, and then was in the ring with Io Shirai in her first full month on NXT television? What other woman can you recall that has done that? I can't. I'd love to know why. Now, granted, Zoe Stark is a very good professional wrestler. But I'm going to say what I usually say when it comes to this. Who is she? Why should we as a fan base care? She has no character. Has she spoken? Has she cut a promo? Has she let us know what she's doing here and what her goal is? Who is she? Why is WWE pushing her so hard and nobody knows who she is? I don't really understand it. And then she gets a pre-show match with Toni Storm and she beats Toni Storm. So let me revert back to what I just said. Toni Storm turned heel. She's not doing the heel thing right. Or at least it's not coming off good to me. She's a babyface. I think everybody in this chat loves Toni Storm. They don't want to boo Toni Storm. We want to cheer Toni Storm. I just feel like her entire aura got fucked up when she turned heel. And then she loses to Zoe Stark, which, case in point, proves my point to what I just said. Toni Storm is in the middle of nothing. So who is Zoe Stark? And why should we care? Dakota Kai, she wrestled. Io Shirai, she wrestled. She was in a tag team match against Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez with Io as her tag team partner. Toni Storm hasn't even gotten this fucking treatment on the main roster, on NXT. Zoe Stark comes in, boom. Who is she? I don't know. And I don't know why I should care. So this was a very good match. Very good match between these two. They started grappling. They traded headlocks. Stark was on offense. Storm was on defense. She cut off Stark, eventually did Storm. She grounded Stark, and then Storm began working her over. Stark was able to superplex Storm, and then she shifted the tide of the match in her favor, trading strikes and counters back and forth. Stark with a suplex and a running knee for a near fall. The running knee looked great. The running knee really looked great by Stark. Storm came back and hit a beautiful sit-out facebuster for a 2 count. Stark countered Storm 0, Toni Storm's finishing move, and then knocked Storm down with a kick. Storm then came back with German suplexes consecutively. She then again went for Storm 0. Stark then countered into an inside cradle and pinned Storm for what I call an upset in the pre-show match for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. I don't really get why Toni Storm needed to lose. Yes, Stark was losing, but Toni Storm is right now, you're out of the two, your greater commodity, and she needs a win badly because she just came off a nonsensical match with Io that didn't even really make any sense. Lost, hasn't been seen since, shows up on the pre-show, loses to Zoe Stark. I don't know what that says about Toni Storm, but I will say this. If Toni Storm is not doing much of anything in NXT's women's division, simply because it's overcrowded, maybe we should call her up to the main roster. I feel like Toni Storm doesn't even need NXT. She could lead a main roster division. Maybe. No, and those fucking idiots up there, she'll get buried with the rest of them. But she's blonde, partially. So maybe she'll find some success on the main roster. Sure, Bruce will be fucking drooling once Toni Storm walks through the door. Give me a break. But I feel like Toni Storm, with losses in NXT, you can kind of feel when someone is staying and someone is going. I just feel Toni Storm is ready to just go. You could put her on Monday night. You could put her on Friday night. She'd fit like a glove. Why does she need NXT? And why is she losing to Zoe Stark? We'll see in the coming weeks. Maybe they do end up calling her up. I don't know. But Zoe Stark gets what I call an upset over Toni Storm. NXT TakeOver started the main show. We got Nita Strauss, guitar player for Alice Cooper's band. And she did a very badass introduction and played the Star Spangled Banner. This was awesome. Very good. I've heard better, but I'm not going to shit on this because it's metal. And she did a badass cover. But I have heard better. Star Spangled Banners on the electric guitar. My favorite one, if you guys even give a shit, is John Schaefer, Iced Earth, off of the Glorious Burden album. That's just me. I'm a metal guy. So I know my Star Spangled Banner metal versions, okay? The stage was embellished with this large skull in the aisleway, right in the center of the stage. It looked fucking awesome. It had NXT carved into the forehead. Swords were at either side of the entrance as well, with mini screens in the skull's eyes. This was fucking awesome. What a great look, man. I gotta give NXT credit. They transformed that performance center into a legit, great weekly television spot. It looks awesome. Then we got the show started with Kushida versus Pete Dunne. I am never going to complain around anything regarding Kushida, Pete Dunne, opening match, NXT. I'll never complain. But I will complain that WWE has this tendency to put things on a wrestling show that really don't need to be there. And I stand by what I said in the opening cold open of the show. Kushida and Pete Dunne could have easily been saved for a restart on Tuesday night. Right out of the curtain, Kushida, Pete Dunne, boom. Give these guys 20 minutes, have them go out on live television and just kill it. The basis of this match had no story. There was no story to this. It was legitimately thrown on the TakeOver card, and WWE created this story for them. Who's the best technical wrestler in NXT? Neither one of these guys. Neither one of these guys. I think Johnny Gargano is the best technical wrestler in NXT. You got Tommaso Ciampa, Adam Cole. That's just me. I think those guys are better pro wrestlers than both Kushida and Pete Dunne. But that's just my opinion. You guys may think otherwise. But Kushida and Pete Dunne had a match to determine who is the best technical wrestler, submission wrestler in NXT. They did not disappoint. It was 10 or 11 minutes or so, but it wasn't something that I'm going to go back and rewatch and be blown away by. NXT TakeOver usually has unbelievable opening matches. The inaugural NXT North American Championship ladder match that we seen. I remember Dominik Dijakovic and Keith Lee for the North American title at TakeOver Portland. If you guys remember, TakeOver 25, I believe it was Roderick Strong versus Matt Riddle. I mean, NXT is no stranger to opening matches. I would not put this up there with any of those matches, but it was solid. It was solid. So they started trying to catch each other in submission holds here. The grappling continued, and they grappled for control. Dunne tried to go for his joint manipulations, and he tripped up Kushida on an attempted handspring. Dunne then gave Kushida an X-Plex on the apron. Then these two start slugging it out, and the fight spilled onto the ramp. We had some great back and forth on the ramp. Dunne snapped Kushida's fingers. Kushida answered back with a Fisherman Buster into a small package. That was probably the most devastating move of the entire match. I cringed when I watched the Fisherman Buster small package combo by Kushida, man. Wow. Dropped him right on his neck. So they both went for cross-arm breakers, and they traded strikes. Awesome stuff between these two. Very physical, very intense. And it was only getting more intense as the match went on. which goes to show you these guys had another 15, 20 minutes in them. They fought on the turnbuckles. Kushida had the armbar flip off of the top turnbuckle into the hoverboard lock. Dunne escaped, but Kushida tied up Dunne in yet another submission hold. Kushida flew out of nowhere with a flying knee drop on Dunne's elbow. He went back to the hoverboard lock. Dunne escaped, and he targeted the fingers again. Kushida went for his big punch, and he sold his own hand. Dunne a moment later executed the bitter end, and he covered Kushida in a very anticlimactic pinfall victory. 1, 2, 3. Pete Dunne proves to Kushida he's the best technical wrestler in NXT. I would not be surprised if they run this back again on Tuesday night. I would not be shocked. Just for the simple fact that these guys could have even went another 15 minutes or so to open this show. This was an awesome match, great intensity. Even with all of the attempted joint manipulation and the attempted submission holds, I felt like the match was very nicely paced. It never slowed down, or it never felt like it slowed down. These guys didn't slow down at all. They didn't really sit in a long-winded submission hold for too long. They kept it moving. It was very intense and very physical, just based off of Pete Dunne's background in the sport and Kushida's background in the sport. Nothing felt slowed, which was great. It kept up that nice pace, and Pete Dunne got the victory. I know a lot of people are upset that Kushida lost again. He had that great match with Johnny Gargano at the last TakeOver. Hasn't really done much since his feud with the Velveteen Dream, but that's not saying much. Kushida loses here. I get everybody's frustration with Kushida. I get it. He comes off like a loser on NXT television. He hasn't really won the big one. I don't know what they're planning to do with Kushida. I don't know if they have championship aspirations as far as the North American Championship is concerned for Kushida. But I've been saying this for months while I talk about Kushida. He's hit his ceiling. Unfortunately, which sucks because he's easily one of the best wrestlers on that entire roster, he's hit his ceiling in NXT. I don't know what you guys want from Kushida. He signed with WWE because he wanted to bring his family to America. He brought his entire family, and now they're living in Orlando. And the quality of life that he wanted for his family is obviously his number one priority. There's no doubt in my mind he wants to be a successful pro wrestler, which he is. But at the end of the day, family's always going to be number one. At number two, you want to be successful as you could possibly be in your sport. And right now, he's not achieving that. But unfortunately, in WWE, with his size, with his English, with his look, he's hit his ceiling. Just be grateful he's in NXT. Because if he moves past NXT, he'll be in catering like Ricochet. So I think the best bet for you guys who are complaining is to appreciate Kushida in NXT right now. Because if Bruce Pritchard and Vince McMahon get their hands on Kushida, Kushida is going to be buried. So take what you got with him now and stop complaining. Pete Dunne looks great. He looks to be in the best shape of his career. And I've seen that, obviously, from somebody that's watched Pete Dunne for years, and now seeing him where he is now, he looks fantastic. There's no doubt in my mind that Pete Dunne is going to have a major career in WWE. And he's only, 26, 27 years old, 28? My God, the mileage that guy probably has left. Easily an NXT champion in the future. No doubt about it. Awesome match. I just don't get why it needed to be on the show. Bronson Reed, Dexter Lumis, Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Cameron Grimes to the moon. Cameron Grimes. And L.A. Knight. Give me a break. L.A. Knight. The fuck is this shit, man? L.A. Knight on NXT? Do we need somebody like L.A. Knight? L.A. Knight, like he's playing fucking, I don't know. Who's he pointing at? Guy looks like to be ready for the main roster. Just hand him off to Bruce already. We don't need this clown on NXT. Gauntlet Eliminator. This was a damn good fucking match. This, I thought, to be honest with you, I thought this was a very predictable match. I had Dexter Lumis winning this thing for weeks. Just because of the feud that he's got with Johnny Gargano. And Indy Hartwell apparently having an infatuation with Dexter Lumis. I mean, he's a handsome-looking guy. But I thought that was definitely it, and Dexter Lumis was taking the NXT North American title this weekend. But WWE ended up showing us that it wasn't all that predictable. Doesn't know, I don't really know if it was the right move creatively, but I'm not going to complain about where they went. Because the winner of this match, I'm also a very big fan of. So, the winner of this match goes on to fight Johnny Gargano. Night 2 of TakeOver for the North American Championship. Leon Ruff came out first. And he was crawling out of the ramp. Or on the ramp, out of the curtain. And Isaiah Swerve Scott attacked him before the match had even begun their introductions. And Ruff was fired up here. He started to mount a comeback on Isaiah Swerve Scott. They had a great brawl at ringside before the bell even rung. Scott was beating up Leon Ruff. Ruff came back eventually, springing off the announce desk, giving Swerve Scott a cutter on the floor. This guy was jumping off the ramp onto the barricades on the outside. He was all over the place. He was like Spider-Man. So then they fought on the turnbuckles, and Ruff sent Scott flying with a big Frankensteiner off the top rope. Bronson Reed then came into the match. Ruff went for a flying crossbody on Reed, but Reed caught him. And then Reed flung him into the ring over Swerve Scott. He landed hard on the mat. Reed then proceeded to clean house there as he made his way into the match. Power moves by Bronson Reed, throwing his weight around. He sat on Leon Ruff. Commentators on the outside were expressing that Bronson Reed was paying homage to the great Yokozuna with the sit-out. Big splash on Leon Ruff, or Isaiah Swerve Scott, rather. Then we got Reed giving both of these guys a triple German suplex spot, with Reed suplexing Scott while Scott was also suplexing Leon Ruff. Ruff landed rough, legitimately. And then we got number 4 coming on here. Cameron Grimes to the moon. Cameron Grimes comes in. What is with this guy's theme music, man? What is with this guy's theme music? I like the old theme music better. They switched it up. And I don't really get this gimmick, man. Is he supposed to be the hillbilly version of the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase? But a lot more cringe? What was wrong with his old gimmick? Why did he need to change it? Where did he get the money from? He invested in GameStop stock, apparently. He's selling cryptocurrency. I don't really understand the gimmick for Cameron Grimes. He's a hillbilly $1 Million Man. So he gets into the match. He strolled down the ramp. Grimes moonsaulted into the ring, landing on Reed. And after Reed was sent to the outside, Grimes pulls money out of his trunks, and he hands dirty money to Isaiah Swerve Scott, and he bought Swerve's assistance. He bought Swerve's alliance in this match. So it was a 2-on-1 because Bronson Reed was taken out, and Grimes knows Swerve has an issue with Leon Ruff, so he bought Swerve's partnership to take out Leon Ruff. He was going to buy his way to a North American Championship victory. So Ruff was taking all kinds of big bumps here. The guy knows how to fucking sell, I'll give him that. One of them was an exploder into the corner. Looked like it fucking sucked. He was also the first to be eliminated here. Dexter Lumis, he was eliminated by Scott, by the way. Dexter Lumis was coming out, and Leon Ruff was being eliminated. He joined the match. Lumis cleared the ring. He chased Cameron Grimes out of the match. He faced off with Reed. Everybody was sent out of the ring just before LA Knight came out. LA Knight came out cutting a promo on everybody. He was just shitting on everybody, which in wrestling terms, wrestling one-on-one, when you come out with a microphone and you shit on everybody, more than likely you're the first to be eliminated. That's exactly what happened here. So, LA Knight comes out, cutting a promo on everybody. He kicked Reed, who was on the outside. They've been feuding on NXT television. Reed interrupted Knight's promo eventually. He didn't know Reed was behind him, and he gave him a headbutt. Reed made a big comeback on everybody. Dexter Lumis was unceremonious. He didn't even do anything in this match. He did nothing in this match, which pisses me off. Lumis was eliminated when Knight cradled him for a pinfall. So LA Knight got rid of Dexter Lumis. Reed then eliminated Knight via pinfall. Lumis, who was eliminated by Knight, grabbed Knight, pulled him outside the ring, put him in a sleeper hold, made him go to sleep on the outside. So we got a three-way now between Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, and Isaiah Swerve Scott. So my guy was gone. I've been saying Dexter Lumis is going to win this match for weeks now. And he was eliminated in like 3 minutes. So Scott eliminated Grimes after reversing an O'Connor roll, and he hooked the tights. So grand theft larceny here for Mr. Isaiah Swerve Scott. Took the money and ended up turning on him anyway. So then we're left with Scott and Reed. Reed took a Death Valley driver on the apron, and it looked like it was painful. Not because he hit a certain way on the apron, but man, he hit the apron and then fucking just flopped to the floor. Scott with a 450 splash off the top rope for a near fall. Reed kicked out, which was great. Reed then powerbombed Scott. He also planted Scott with an air raid crash. Then he goes up to the top rope. I'm telling you, folks, man, there is moments in pro wrestling that I just would never, in 1,000 lifetimes, you couldn't pay me all the money in the world to do certain things. One of those things is laid down with Bronson Reed on the top rope. There's no way you're going to be asking me to lay there as this fucking guy flies off the top rope and delivers that tsunami big splash. A thing of beauty is the tsunami splash by Bronson Reed. Awesome. Guy squashed Isaiah Scott like a fucking pancake. 1, 2, 3. Bronson Reed wins this Gauntlet Eliminator. He is now the #1 contender for Johnny Gargano and the NXT North American Championship. Again, I gotta stress, I thought this was going to Dexter Lumis, with Lumis winning the title and being put over in a big way on NXT's biggest show of the year. But if Bronson Reed is going to possibly be that guy, I'm all for it, man. Bronson Reed felt like he could have been the North American champion around the time Damian Priest was the North American champion. They were going back and forth for a little bit, and Bronson Reed was getting his first taste of championship matches. Then now he wins a Gauntlet Eliminator. And now he's got Johnny Gargano tomorrow night, which should be a fantastic match. I just feel it's time for Bronson Reed. I feel like right now is the time. You obviously put this guy over two guys who a lot of people predicted to win this match. One of them being Lumis. The other guy being Cameron Grimes. He was the other guy. If Lumis lost, Cameron Grimes was the next odds-on favorite, and then he got pinned. A lot of people were pulling for LA Knight. LA Knight versus Johnny Gargano doesn't sound like a match that's going to be interesting to a lot of people. Bronson Reed versus Johnny Gargano, I think right now is the time for Bronson Reed. And I don't know how you guys feel about it, but Johnny Gargano, I just feel like he's the type of guy that is willing to not hesitate to put anybody over. I just have a feeling Johnny Gargano is going to do the right thing and put Bronson Reed over. So we'll see what happens, man. Another great match added to TakeOver tomorrow night. Bronson Reed wins the Gauntlet Eliminator match over two potential odds-on favorites in this match and pulls off what a lot of people are claiming is an upset. NXT United Kingdom Championship match. Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa. This was my most anticipated match of the entire night. At the end of the night, I said it on Twitter well before the show even ended. It's going to be very difficult for anybody to follow that match. Now, I've seen Walter matches. I've seen Walter Wars. I've seen him battle literally everybody onto what is the most impressive title reign in all of WWE. Nothing that Walter is going to be doing in this reign is going to top his match with Tyler Bate. Nothing. That match was a fucking goddamn masterpiece. Nothing. Now, I didn't watch the match with Ilya Dragunov, so I really can't gauge that Bate match versus the Dragunov match. I can't do it. I have not watched it yet. It's been how many months since that match happened? I have not watched it. A lot of people told me to go and watch it. I haven't done it yet. I know a lot of people are very impatient. I know a lot of people are very impatient when it comes to pro wrestling and championships and reigns. I don't think. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be way off on this. I don't think anybody would have a fucking problem if Walter was the NXT UK champion forever. I mean, who legitimately is going to beat this guy? Nobody. There's not going to be anybody on that roster or this roster that's going to be able to take him out. The guy is a fucking mythical creature. He's that good. And he's not just some big, you know, he isn't some fucking big doofus. This guy is a fucking world-class professional wrestler. And he looks like that. This guy should hold the title until we're all in the grave. Seriously. I'll give you my thoughts on what I would do with Walter. But man, oh man, this was a great fucking match. Tommaso Ciampa has been in the middle of nothing. He's been teaming with Timothy Thatcher. I know Timothy Thatcher and Walter had a thing on the indies. They were in an alliance together, right? But I don't want to see that in WWE. I don't give a fuck about that. The main thing about this match, this match also felt like it was rushed. But I mean, if you're going to rush a match and put a match on TakeOver, I mean, I'm not going to fucking complain about Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa. You could put this match and just pull these names out of a fucking hat. I'd be like, match of the night. Doesn't make any sense. There's no story about it. Just put it on the fucking show. How is it going to disappoint anybody? You know? The match came about in about 2 weeks. And we got old man Ciampa with the fucking gray hair and the gray beard. He's looking like he should be sitting in a fucking rocking chair. Challenging for the NXT UK Championship. And this was all about bringing the Tommaso Ciampa of old back to us. The psycho killer, Tommaso Ciampa. The Tommaso Ciampa that everybody loves and adores. That's what this match was about. Walter reaching in and bringing that Ciampa out. Or Ciampa challenging Walter and really pushing himself to bring back that Ciampa for himself. Never mind fucking Walter. Walter doesn't give a fuck who's there. Gonna fucking slap the shit out of you anyway, regardless. This was a great match. Ciampa shaved his head. Shaved his bald, beautiful head. He's got that bald dome once again. He looks like the Ciampa of old. He even brought back the old ring gear. Awesome, awesome stuff. Walter, to me, one of the best pro wrestlers in all of WWE in the world. One of my favorite, if not my favorite entrance in all of pro wrestling is Imperium. And this match was the match of the night. Ciampa, like I said, shaved his head. Back in his old school trunks. And Ciampa was in control early. He tried to get in and out, duck in and out, use his quickness against the much bigger Walter. Walter eventually woke up and got agitated by Tommaso Ciampa playing games. Walter struck Ciampa down and Walter pummeled him at ringside. Ciampa was laying on the commentary desk. And you know those commentary desks that's got that little piece on the top of the commentary desk with the logo of the show? Walter was about to just absolutely smash Ciampa like a bug. Ciampa moved out of the way. Ciampa overhand chopped the announce table so hard, he either A, broke his hand and busted himself open, B, scared the living shit out of Vic Joseph and everybody sitting there. And he definitely, because they showed it, he legitimately severed and cracked the front of the announce table. You've seen a noticeable split in the top of the announce table. He smacked it so hard. Remember what I said about Bronson Reed? You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to take that tsunami splash from Bronson Reed. You couldn't pay me all the money in the world to fucking stand there and take a chop by Walter, man. I feel like my soul would exit its body, you know? And just fucking drift off into space somewhere. So he missed this chop, did Walter. Ciampa ducked it. And Ciampa in the ring, he blocked another chop. So the story of this match was the chop. Ciampa now has immobilized Walter and the chop. The chop is now weakened because of this big miscue on the outside. So Ciampa targeted the hand. Walter, still as vicious as anybody. Guy hits like he doesn't give a fuck about anything, man. He's like a fucking goddamn freight train. A boot to the face of Ciampa that nearly severed his fucking skin off the bone. It was unbelievable. Walter grounded Ciampa on the mat, and Walter again booted him in the face. And Walter was punishing Ciampa, slowing the pace down. Walter kept selling the hand. I don't know if he really broke his hand or not, but he was selling it like he did injure his hand. Ciampa fought back with lariats, and this was a spot in the match where I'm looking at Ciampa and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's cardio is outstanding. He ran back and forth with lariats, had to be about over a dozen times, back and forth with lariats, off the rope, clothesline. Walter was tied up in the ropes. He was reeling on the ropes on the opposite end. Ciampa was going back and forth with clotheslines, and he was unable to knock Walter off of his feet. Ciampa kept hitting Walter countless times before Walter bounced off the ropes, and he knocked Ciampa down with another clothesline. Ciampa followed. He got up, got the big man in an air raid crash, which looked great visually because Walter's a huge son of a bitch. Walter with a backdrop then for a 2 count. Ciampa answered back with devil's wings for a near fall. Walter caught Ciampa in a sleeper, and Ciampa used the injured hand to break the hold. Suplex by Walter. He then hit Ciampa with a lariat from hell, turned him inside out. Ciampa somehow got out of that. Ciampa then countered Walter to apply a Fujiwara armbar. Walter looked to be in trouble as Ciampa was stomping on him. Walter then countered, and he clubbed Ciampa with his good hand. They fought on the top turnbuckle. Ciampa gave Walter an avalanche air raid crash, which looked fucking nasty. Got a 2 count. They got up. They were trading strikes, chops, back and forth. Ciampa actually got the best of Walter with the chop exchange. You've physically seen the welts on both of these guys' chests. Walter even had welts on his chest from Ciampa's chops. So Ciampa was actually winning this knife-edge chop battle because Walter had the bad hand. And his chops were looking very flail and weak. So Walter, nothing was phasing this guy. He targeted Ciampa's neck, powerbombed Ciampa twice on the neck. Ciampa managed to kick out, I don't know how. Then a sleeper suplex by Walter, and he followed with a hard knife-edge chop before covering Ciampa with the pin. A lot of people, my first inclination with the outcome was like, holy shit, this was a anticlimactic ending. But in the end, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it when the match was over and Walter was standing there with Imperium holding up the belt. This guy dug down deep with the injured hand and the hand being targeted all match to powerbomb Ciampa, who kicked out twice. And Walter is no slouch with the fucking powerbombs, man. This guy was jackknifed and rolled over with all of Walter's weight covering him, and Ciampa still kicked out. And then Walter, with the overhand chop, he fucking just released his superpower in that one final chop and leveled Ciampa down 1, 2, 3. It was just a glorious way for Ciampa to finally go down. And Walter retains the NXT UK Championship. Walter should never lose that championship. Never. In fact, I'm making a bold prediction right now. I am predicting Karrion Kross to defeat Finn Balor for the NXT Championship in the main event of TakeOver tomorrow night. Karrion Kross is going to be your new NXT champion. The guy's also going to be on the main roster this year. But who's going to beat Karrion Kross? A lot of people are saying, I don't think Karrion Kross should lose on NXT. There's only one guy that I could see beating Karrion Kross, and it's nobody on the active NXT Orlando roster. The one guy that should beat Karrion Kross for that NXT championship is Walter. I would book Walter to beat Kross and hold both NXT UK and NXT championships and go on to be the most dominant force in NXT history. There's no other way to book him. Obviously, the guy has done you fucking unbelievable in both NXT and NXT UK. The guy is incapable of having a bad match, and he just has a presence that is a fucking rarity. Rarity in this sport. A guy who can wrestle, a guy who looks like that, and a guy who is legit as Brock Lesnar or anybody that is working like that. Kross, Walter, and you have Walter win the title, and Kross goes right to Vince on Monday Night Raw. That's it. There's no other way to book him. And there's nobody else that really is legitimate to beat Karrion Kross, because nobody should beat Kross either. Awesome match. They fucking killed it. Match of the night, no question. Guys, before I get into the final two matches of the evening here on TakeOver Stand and Deliver, I want to thank you guys for showing up tonight. Got 1,400 in the chat. I know some other podcasters in the community are covering AEW tonight. I wanted to do NXT tonight. It's the more important of the two shows. NXT, number one tonight. AEW can wait. But I want to thank you guys for joining me, man. Hit that thumbs up. We got 504 likes. The goal for the live streams is 750. Let's do it. Super chats are also open. So get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show once I get done with the review. But I want to shout out Honey, my sponsor for tonight's show. JoinHoney.com/offthescript. We all shop online. I know you guys love saving money. I love saving money. Who doesn't? And we've all seen that promo code field taunt us at checkout, man. We all frantically look for these promo codes online. None of them work. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is a free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one and puts it right into your cart. Honey also supports over 30,000 stores online. They range from sites that have tech and gaming products to popular fashion brands and even food delivery. Imagine you guys are shopping on your favorite site, and when you check out, the Honey button just drops down, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Just wait a few seconds. Honey scours the internet for coupon codes and applies it right to that site. You guys will be watching the prices drop like the Monday Night Raw ratings every week on USA Network. Listen, man, I got my two fur babies. I shop for them every single week. I use Honey to save my money on my fur babies' toys, food, new cat beds, cat hammocks, you name it, man. Honey has saved me money on Bacardi and Bailey every single time I shop. If you don't really want to save money, man, I don't know what the hell you're thinking. Go get Honey. If you don't have Honey, you're definitely missing out on all these savings. It's free. So I don't know why you wouldn't download it. It takes a few seconds. It installs right in seconds on your browser. And by getting it, you're doing yourself a favor. And you're supporting this podcast at the same time. Now, I would never recommend anything that I don't use. Everybody that I'm sponsored with, man, I use everything. You guys know it. I recommend Honey 100%. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/offthescript. That's joinhoney.com/offthescript. And start saving yourself some money, man. Like I said, the prices will be dropping like Monday Night Raw's ratings on the USA Network. I love it. I love it. Anyway, moving on with the rest of the show, man. Tag team championships are on the line. MSK. That's Wesley. Can someone please tell me, did they ever explain what MSK stands for? What is MSK? What is that the full meaning of? It's abbreviated for something. It's initials for something. What is it? Somebody has to know. Wesley and Nash Carter, they went up against the Grizzled young veterans. That's James Drake and Zach Gibson, who I am a big fan of. And Legado del Fantasma. That's Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza in a triple threat match for the vacant NXT Tag Team Championships. Now, the former champions were Danny Burch and Oney Lorcan. Danny Burch is out 6 months with a separated shoulder. And the titles were vacated. Poor Oney Lorcan. They worked so hard to get to where they were with those tag team championships, being led by Pat McAfee, with Pete Dunne by their side. Everything was going well for those guys. Then they had the title stripped because of an incident with Karrion Kross in a match with Finn Balor. That really never should have taken place. But as far as the vacant tag team championships are concerned, I only had one winner in mind before this match even took place tonight, and that was the Grizzled Young Veterans. I just felt like they made the finals of the Dusty Classic 2 years in a row. They've never won the Dusty Classic. And it was about time that they got their due diligence. They had to win it. Now, I understand that MSK won the Dusty Classic, so more than likely the winners of the Dusty Classic are going to be your new tag team champions. It's just the way things work. But this was a different situation. They were not given a championship match against the champions. They were put into a vacant tag team title match against two other really good teams. I was for certain that the Grizzled Young Veterans were going to win this match and be the new tag team champions, just based off the logic of a heel tag team winning and then having the babyface champions or the baby faces chase the champions. So the heels winning and the baby faces chasing the heel champions. That's the way I thought it was going to be. Plus, you'd be giving the Grizzled Young Veterans something that they definitely deserve. MSK comes in and I felt like it was too soon for them. But that's just me. You guys may be thinking about it some other way. I don't know. I just think that it's more apropos for the heels to be champions and the baby faces chase. And then the baby faces get their big win. But MSK is so highly regarded already. You could see that Triple H and NXT management loves them. So I guess the idea was to give them their big win at the biggest takeover of the year. They are the best flavor of ice cream in Triple H's ice cream shop, I guess. I don't know. But this was a great fucking match, man. MSK wins this triple threat. They become the new tag team champions. Excellent match. There was so much action in this thing. I did not even know in the last 6 or 7 minutes who the fuck the legal guy was. It was all over the place. I honestly think that I just zoned out watching all this chaos unfold at the end of this thing. It was very difficult to keep up with, so my notes are going to be a little light because it was all over the place. It's one of those matches where you just say, fuck it, I'm not even writing notes. I'm just going to enjoy the goddamn thing, and we'll talk about it. So, triple threat matches means that you got 3 guys who are legal at the same time, and the other 3 guys are on the outside. Their partners can tag in from the apron. There's no DQ. Lots of action to start this thing. The Grizzled Young Veterans tried to slow things down because that's exactly what they do. MSK was coming back into this thing, and they were firing themselves up, doing what they usually do best, which is the high-flying offense. Joaquin Wilde himself did a dive to the outside. MSK flew to the outside. Joaquin Wilde and Raul Mendoza are a great tag team. Raul Mendoza did that spiral dive over the top. He nailed everybody. And then we got, I think, Wesley diving. He's a fucking maniac himself, so this was all over the place. Legado del Fantasma actually did stereo coast to coasts as well. They made it look fucking easy. Shane McMahon was at home writing fucking pointers down, man, how to do it. Excellent, excellent stuff. So Legado del Fantasma was in control through some of this in the middle, and they were beating down Nash Carter. Wes Lee got the hot tag. He ran wild with some more high-flying offense. The Grizzled Young Veterans smashed Lee's hand into the turnbuckle. I thought this was it for the vets. They took out MSK. And Lee was trapped in an armbar soon thereafter by Zach Gibson. Carter went to make the save, and he was put in a sleeper hold by James Drake. This reminded me of DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa versus FTR, then the Revival, at TakeOver Toronto in their 2 out of 3 falls match. This was awesome. So we got Zach Gibson with the armbar on Wes Lee. James Drake had the sleeper hold on Carter. Wes Lee was about to tap, but Nash Carter was in the sleeper hold, and he put his hand out, and he grabbed Wes Lee's hand before it came down on the mat to tap out. Awesome stuff. So, with Nash Carter making the save, Legado del Fantasma rushed in to hit several double-team moves. MSK takes out Legado del Fantasma, and the match comes down to MSK and the vets. So they both meet in the middle of the ring. Big slugfest in the middle of the ring. Carter with a double cutter on both James Drake and Zach Gibson. MSK then execute a doomsday blockbuster, and Zach Gibson takes the pinfall here. 1, 2, 3 by Wes Lee, and MSK wins the tag team championships. There was a spot in this match as well from the Grizzled Young Vets. They did a doomsday device of their own on the outside. I don't know who it was on, but it took Legado del Fantasma out of the match. It might have been Joaquin Wilde. I'm not sure. But James Drake was on the ramp, and one of the Legado members was on Zach Gibson's shoulders. James Drake ran all the way on the stage and did a flying clothesline off of Zach Gibson's shoulders that took out Legado del Fantasma indefinitely. Awesome fucking stuff. They tried it earlier in the match, and they got stopped. And that's what took them out, and that led to MSK versus the Grizzled Young Vets 2-on-2. Then it led to the outcome with MSK winning. Awesome stuff. I would have went with the Grizzled Young Vets. That's just me. I think it's too early for MSK, but Triple H loves his MSK guys. And the tag team division, you did so good by building up the women's division. Look at where it is now. I don't think anybody is going to say anything about the NXT women's division. It's easily the best women's division in the world. Now it's time to build up the tag team division. It's nowhere near where it used to be. Nowhere. That tag team division years ago in NXT was a thing of beauty, man. They had the best tag team division in the United States, probably in the world. They could get there. WWE could definitely get there with NXT, but I don't know why you would want to be a tag team performer in WWE when the main roster is tag team wrestling's death. It's like a fucking graveyard up there. There's no tag team division on Monday night. There's no tag team division on Friday night. Why even bother being in a tag team when you get to Bruce's office, they either want to bury you or break you up? MSK better stay on NXT for the rest of their careers. The Grizzled Young Vets stay on NXT. Everybody else in this tag team division stay on NXT. But as long as we can get some great tag team wrestling on NXT, that's the extent of it in WWE, man. Start rebuilding that division. I would go as far as to do a Mae Young Classic-like tournament. Scour the world for tag teams. If AEW hasn't signed them all by then, scour the world for tag teams. Bring them on in for this tournament. Find your next NXT tag team division through that tournament. I think that would do great. Really. Winner of the tournament gets an NXT tag team title shot and contracts to NXT. That's what I would do. I've been wanting one of those, a Mae Young Classic-like tournament for the tag teams around the world in NXT at the Performance Center. I think that would be great. The main event, Raquel Gonzalez versus Io Shirai for the NXT Women's Championship. I had no problem with this being the main event. This was easily the most important match of the entire night. It wasn't the best match of the entire night. That went to Walter and Tommaso Ciampa, but this was the most important match of the night. Why? Io has been a fantastic champion. She's beaten everybody. She's made that title look as legit as anybody before her. NXT has boasted about its women's division for the longest time. They were looking for an opportunity to put the women of that division in the main event, and this was the perfect opportunity for them to do that with Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez, and they did not disappoint. I hope WWE does the right thing on Saturday night with WrestleMania as well. With night one, Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair deserve to main event night one of WrestleMania. Why? The feud sucks. But you're not going to take a Royal Rumble victory away from Bianca Belair. She won the right to main event WrestleMania. So put her in the main event of WrestleMania, which would be night one against Sasha Banks. Perfect sense there. Same thing with Io and Raquel Gonzalez. There was no match being won. Match came about with Io challenging Raquel Gonzalez. This was the most important match of the night. And I love the fact that Io was the one to challenge Raquel Gonzalez. It was not the other way around. There's something about that I find very good. I actually did not mind Io challenging. Why? She's been that dominant. It makes her come off more confident. She should be challenging. Fighting champions, confident champions, challenge who they want. In the end, it bit Io in the ass. I'm glad she went right for the jugular here. I want you. I've beaten everybody else. I want you at TakeOver. Because I know I can beat you. I've beaten everybody else. After you, there's nobody else. I'm the best. I'm the greatest ever. And Raquel Gonzalez, you could see where WWE's booking has taken Raquel. They love Raquel Gonzalez. I was so down on Raquel Gonzalez for months. I'm like, this is a waste. She was in the Mae Young Classic a couple times, if I'm not mistaken. I think she had this cowboy-like gimmick, if I'm not mistaken. I might be thinking about somebody else, but she was in the Mae Young Classic, I believe. Nothing about her stood out. She transformed herself. They paired her with Dakota. I still wasn't even a big Raquel Gonzalez supporter then, even though we all loved Dakota Kai, but it grew, and it grew, and it grew, and it grew to be a little bit more legit. And the pairing ended up being one of the more organic, natural, and likable pairings in the NXT women's division. Dakota Kai really should be where Raquel Gonzalez is, but you see where WWE politics come into play. Raquel Gonzalez was given the rocket pack, and man, oh man, WWE kept fueling that thing month after month after month after month. It was never going to stop. And Raquel Gonzalez is where she is now because of WWE backing her 1,000%. And I don't hate it. I really don't. Others have come before Raquel Gonzalez that WWE has shoved down our throats. Rhea Ripley was built organically. There was once upon a time where I loved Rhea Ripley. Now I don't. I think Rhea Ripley is overproduced. I think Rhea Ripley is trying too hard to be something she's not. And I don't think Rhea Ripley is going to come off well on the main roster. She wasn't coming off well in NXT. Very overproduced. Something about her just doesn't resonate at all. It's just too much. Raquel Gonzalez is just right. I hope it stays just right. I don't want them to overproduce. I don't want them to go overboard with Raquel Gonzalez. You don't need to. You don't need to. She's big. She's powerful. She knows what she's doing. Keep it simple. And you're going to get the best results in the end. I knew she was winning this match. Just the way things were lining up. They had Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai just gifted both of them the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Then they lost them. 45 minutes after they gave them the titles, they lost them to Shotzi and Ember Moon. And then 15 minutes after that, they booked this match. So right then and there, you knew Raquel was going to take that title from Io. So Raquel Gonzalez is the new NXT Women's Champion. What happens to Io? Is Io done? Io certainly doesn't need to prove herself in NXT anymore. Raquel won clean. There was no fuckery here. Is Io doomed for a main roster call-up? Is Io about to get buried by Vince and Bruce? And you all know how Asuka turned out on the main roster. If they can't get Asuka right, what makes you think they're going to book Io right? For all the people excited about Io getting a main roster demotion, look at what they've done to Asuka in the last 9 months. You mean to tell me these people have the fucking brain power to book an Io Shirai on the main roster? Give me a break. Io is going to be buried on the main roster. She's going to be wanting to book that first flight back to Japan within 3 months. Probably less than that. And Io should outshine them all. But on a main roster with Becky Lynch coming back and Ronda Rousey coming back and Charlotte Flair inevitably coming back after WrestleMania, you think Io Shirai is going to have the spotlight she deserves? WWE doesn't like to share spotlight, man. They want to give the spotlight to those who, A, are going to make them money, or B, they feel deserves it in their eyes, not who truly deserves it from the fans' perspective. Buried. So please, spare me all your, oh, JD, why don't you wait until you see what happens? No. We've seen what happens. History is our eyes. History repeats itself in WWE. I don't need to wait for anything, you fucking clown. These geeks. What am I waiting for? What am I waiting for to give them a chance? They don't deserve my patience. They don't deserve my chance. She's about to get fucked. How much longer is she going to be in NXT? They don't need her now. Ridiculous. This was a great match. I thought this match was going to be shorter than it was, but it was just right, barely. Shirai was using her speed and her quickness here. She was trying to outmaneuver Gonzalez, who's a powerhouse. Shirai looked fucking intense in this match, man. She brought it. She didn't back down because Gonzalez was big. Gonzalez was not intimidated because of Io and what she's done. This was a nice matchup. Dakota Kai was in the corner of Gonzalez on the outside. Kai was ejected from ringside only a mere couple of minutes into the match because she was looking to cheat. So the referee saw it, and the referee ejected her. So this distraction allowed Gonzalez to cut off Shirai and gain some advantage. Gonzalez was using her power and throwing Io around. Shirai kept kicking out at every twist and turn from Gonzalez. Gonzalez worked over Shirai, and Gonzalez applied a modified gory special. Shirai escaped and mounted a comeback. Shirai then hit a booyaka, booyaka, 619, booyaka, booyaka, Rey Mysterio, and she got that springboard missile dropkick, which looked great to follow up. Went to cover, caught a near fall on Gonzalez. Shirai countered with a big power move to catch Gonzalez in a crossface. Shirai then off the top turnbuckle with a moonsault on the ramp. She followed by hitting Gonzalez with double knees. And then the huge skull on the ramp that was part of the set. All of a sudden, Gonzalez was laying on the ground from the running knees by Io Shirai. Meteora on the ramp. Shirai all of a sudden disappears. We see Gonzalez laying on the stage. All of a sudden we look up and we see Shirai jumping off the fucking skull with a huge cross body plancha off the skull onto Gonzalez on the ramp. Awesome. She did the same thing at In Your House onto Android Queen and Rhea Ripley. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, you know, JD, you hate Charlotte Flair. I don't want to hear anybody defend Charlotte Flair ever again, man. I think we can all pretty much say that Io is greater than Charlotte Flair. Repeat it with me again, folks. Io Shirai is better than Charlotte Flair. Give me a break. She jumped off this big skull. Unbelievable spot. One of the best spots of the night. I don't know how she didn't fucking break her knees or break her legs. I mean, she was diving all over the fucking place. This woman is an insane maniac. Shirai then hit her signature moonsault press on Gonzalez in the ring. Went for the win. She nailed it. And Gonzalez kicked out. You knew by her kicking out of the moonsault, Gonzalez was about to win this match. Gonzalez then cut off Shirai's momentum, put a stop to that. She was trash-talking Shirai. That fired up Shirai for one last grasp of adrenaline. Gonzalez was just too powerful for Shirai. She lifted Shirai off the top turnbuckle with a one-arm powerbomb. Gonzalez powerbombed Shirai, went for the pinfall, got the 1-2-3. Gonzalez wins the title clean, and Gonzalez is the new NXT Women's Champion. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff. The right winner won. This was the right outcome. I fear for Io Shirai. She's done everything in NXT, and you just know, you get that feeling when there's really nothing else left for you to do. We all felt it with Aleister Black. We all felt it with everybody else before that. We feel it now with Adam Cole. We felt that way for Shayna Baszler. Months we felt that way about Shayna Baszler. She's ready. We felt it with Bayley. We're feeling it with Io. We're feeling it with Io now. There's nothing left for that woman to do. She's beaten everybody. She's even beaten Sasha Banks on NXT. She was in War Games. She was in Survivor Series. There's everything this woman has done. She's just checked off. What else is there for her to do? Monday Night Raw Women's Championship, SmackDown Women's Championship. One or the other. One or the other. No, in WWE, they'll call up Io Shirai and pair her with Asuka and make them a tag team, go after the tag team titles, and then recreate the Asuka and Kairi Sane tag team with Io, which we all know is a fucking disaster. That whole division is a fucking disaster. This was an excellent show. I tip my cap to Triple H. They did a great job tonight, and I'm very much looking forward to tonight, too. This was actually the weaker of the two nights, and this was an awesome show. Tomorrow, we got some great fucking matches lined up, man. Balor versus Cross for the NXT title. Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly. A ladder match with Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin. Women's tag team title match. Johnny Gargano's on the card. It's going to be a great fucking night, man. Going to be a great night. Hopefully the show is a little bit more spaced out and flows better, being that they will be on Peacock exclusively, so they have no time constraints. They can go as long as they want. USA Network, they had a battle with the USA Network, fitting everything that we've seen tonight into a 2-hour show. Things didn't really flow that well. Video packages were lacking. They didn't really have anything on the show that felt NXT TakeOver-ish as far as some of the match quality. We got Walter and Ciampa, which was great. The moment for Gonzalez was great. The Pete Dunne match with Kushida felt like it was out of place. The Tag Team Championship match, I felt like the heels should have won. The Gauntlet Eliminator was great. You know, a little questionable on the outcome there, but WWE made it work. I hope that the show on Peacock is a little bit more spaced out. It lets things breathe tomorrow night. I felt like things weren't given a chance to breathe tonight. But that is the actual TakeOver Night 1 breakdown. And we are about to read these Super Chats tonight. Let's go over these Super Chats, man. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. If you want to hang out, you are more than welcome to stay. If not, I will see you guys tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m., as Jesse and I will talk AEW Dynamite. Should be fun, man. I got to watch that immediately after I'm done here. Follow me on Twitter, man, at JDfromNY206. That's Twitter and Instagram. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. Hit that thumbs up as well. We are only 150 likes away from 750. And if you guys want to super chat is open. Get them on in. We'll hang out, have a good time, and make sure you guys go check out all the other videos on the channel. Links are down in the description for everything you need. All the official playlists are there. And my sponsor for today's show, Honey. Join honey.com/offthescript. Go and save yourself some money by using Honey. Let's see what we got here, man. YouTube always gives me a goddamn problem with these fucking super chats, man. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, man. Maurice Lionheart Jackson with a $4.99 super chat. Both of your channels are fantastic, sir. This is like my second favorite channel on YouTube. It has gotten so much better over the years. You are the GOAT, young sir. Maurice, I know. Gregory Benson with a $4.99 super chat. Hard to believe I first saw Raquel at house shows 1 year ago challenging Rhea Ripley for the belt. And now look at how far she has come. She looks awesome. She looks awesome, man. I think Raquel is going to do that title very good. She's going to bring a sense of legitimacy. Now, Io did the same thing, but it's going to continue with Raquel, which is very important. So good on WWE, man. Coiled Phoenix 713 with a $20 super chat. OMG, Mean Marky D killed me with the intro tonight, and night 1 of NXT was amazing. And I cannot wait for night 2. JD, keep up the good work, and I look forward to seeing what you got for night 2. Love you. I will be here for night 2. We will be here whenever the show is over, depending on when that is. We will be here tomorrow night. Thank you, Coiled Phoenix, for the $20 super chat donation. Gregory Benson with another $9.99. Oh my God, JD, I can't bear to watch. I am now petrified about what's going to happen to my beloved Io Shirai at the hands of our good old buddy, Bruce. I can't bear to watch. Oh, the agony. Let me tell you something, man. Bruce doesn't like Asian women. I'm telling you right now. I don't mean that in any type of way, but it's just the nature of the game. Scooter the U Smith with a $2 super chat. Raquel is a sexy Amazon. Maybe I only think so. She ain't bad, bro. She ain't bad. Maurice Lionheart Jackson with a $4.99 super chat. Loving both channels. It gets better and better. This is my second favorite channel on YouTube. You are the GOAT of podcasters, and Jesse is a co-GOAT. Jesse's a GOAT? According to Edgar Estrada, Jesse is a bitch. Thank you, Maurice. Bartholomew Kuma. But JD, if they make a one-night takeover, then the show would have been 5 hours long. No, it wouldn't have. No, it wouldn't have. You just put the best stuff on the show. You just put the best stuff on the show, man. You don't book a 5-hour plus takeover. Wrestling with Respect, $9.99. Like you, JD, we weren't sold on Raquel when she debuted. Was there ever another talent that made you change your opinion on them and their work as quickly as Raquel did? That's a good fucking question. You know, to be honest with you, I was thinking about this the other day, and I couldn't even come up with an answer. I'm trying to think right now. It's nobody on the main roster because they're all fucking terrible. I'm thinking it's got to be one of the guys. I want to say the last one that I actually did not really care for was, I want to say, Cameron Grimes. And when he started to develop a gimmick, he put the hat on, he got the gator vest, and he was cutting promos. I really enjoyed his work, and then he just became a hillbilly $1 million man, and I'm not liking where they're going with it. But I didn't really care for him. He was a great wrestler. He was just boring as fuck, to be quite honest with you. And then all of a sudden, he just kind of broke out. They were pushing him. And now they're still pushing him, but it seems like the gimmick is more 24/7 title worthy. I don't know. I got to really think about that, but Cameron Grimes is definitely on the list. Phil with the $9.99 super chat. What a show tonight. I watched on Peacock myself, and I have to say, very few hiccups on my end when it comes to connectivity. Yeah, I had no problems either. I hope the no commercials stay around for future WWE live programming. Peacock is going to be where it's at, man. These nuts, $4.99 super chat. 7 out of 10 show tonight, in my opinion. Good show. Definitely the best since Portland by a mile. Although I'm curious to see they're moving to Tuesdays if old NXT will return. These nuts. TakeOver is not done yet, so I think the last TakeOver that we all really thoroughly enjoyed was the last one. Portland was great because it had a full crowd. As far as work rate goes, the last TakeOver that we watched was fucking pretty impressive as well, man. But we got another night to go, and night 2's shaping up to be a lot better. Phil with the $4.99 super chat. Now all I want is to watch from beginning feature as well as chapters so you don't have to scroll through the entire show. Yeah, man, that's coming soon around SummerSlam-ish. As they scour through 17,000 hours of comment, all that stuff's gonna content to remove any bullshit content that they don't want. But all that stuff is gonna be on the Peacock version of WWE Network by SummerSlam. Scooter the U Smith with a $10 super chat and a $2 super chat. All you geeks in the chat saying I'm a simp or weird for just complimenting a woman, shut your SJW up. I guess I should be gay because nowadays a man can't express that someone is attractive without being called a simp or weirdo. What the fuck? Scooter. Sometimes the best thing is just something that you keep unsaid. Less is more. Keep those thoughts to yourself, bro. If I came on here expressing that, I'd be clipped, and then people would be asking for my head on social media. Tenario128, are you a fan of Mortal Kombat? If so, what is your favorite game and characters? Final Fantasy VII and Sephiroth. Chrono Trigger, and everybody in that fucking game. From Chrono to Frog to everybody. Robo. That was my 3-man team in fucking Chrono Trigger, man. Chrono, Frog, and Robo. BBB. Swerve should have won with a $2.99 UK super chat. Negative. Should have been Dexter Loomis. But I'm not going to complain about Bronson Reeves. Swerve is awesome, though. Michael Mizra. Or Mirza. I'm sorry. I fucked up your name. I'm a fucking clown. Michael Mirza with a $10 super chat. I love the fact that Pete Dunne refused to have his arm raised after the match to sell the arm for Kushida. That kind of attention to detail is awesome. Well, Pete Dunne, he's a fucking professional. That's why. Thank you, Michael, with the $10 YouTube donation. Phil with the $4.99 super chat. I mean, who is legitimately going to beat Walter? The guy literally chopped the announce table in half. The guy's already had it for 700 plus days. Nobody. Nobody, man. Logan McCall with a $5 super chat. Can't wait for Strowman and the Strowman Express at WrestleMania. Whee! Just kidding. Yeah, you don't want to be on the Strowman Express, man. I heard that they don't serve food and it fucking smells. You don't want to be on the Strowman Express. I was going to say the Logan Express. The Logan Express with a $5 super chat doesn't want to be on the Strowman Express. You don't. He sucks. Dakota Hoffman with a $5 super chat. MSK stands for Must See Kids, I heard. Gotcha. Sounds about right. Jack Brewer with a $4 super chat. Did you watch the Hall of Fame, Walter versus Jesse? No, I did not watch the Hall of Fame. I had better things to do than watch. Great colleague get inducted and listen to JBL call everybody a fucking idiot. And the Bella Twins had much better things to do, like catch up on The Walking Dead. Johnny718 Bravo. This is why NXT is the best brand. Nah, bro, they used to be the best brand. They got rebuilding to do. Nobody's the best brand. Even AEW struggles from time to time. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Phil with a $9.99 super chat. I call Raquel a more buff version of Sonya Deville. And now watching her grow as a character in the ring, I want to sincerely apologize to the OTS family. And Raquel, because I was wrong. She's great. You don't got to apologize for anything or anybody, bro. We all thought the same thing. We were not high on Raquel. She transformed herself, worked hard, and now she's great. Watching that growth is one of the best things about watching professional wrestling. Maurice Lionheart Jackson with a $1.99 super chat. AEW should have signed Mercedes Martinez. She's gold. They fucked up. They fucked up. Scooter the U Smith with a $5 super chat. You want more right-abouts, EO, on the main roster. Remember Kyrie saying, I remember. But they don't. As friendly as Kyrie is, she's split. So EO will leave too soon. They don't get the Japanese women on the main roster, man. I have no fucking faith in them at all. Furious Nation with a $5 super chat. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1. Stood and delivered. Thoughts on a possible Io Shirai vs. Bayley match? Get it on Night 2. It's fucking criminal that Bayley doesn't have a WrestleMania match. Man, what the fuck is wrong with these people? How can't you book Bayley on the main fucking roster WrestleMania show, man? You fucking kidding me? Bartholomew Kuma with a $5 super chat. When Raquel Gonzalez wins the NXT title, my dick got hard. Yeah, go do that somewhere else, bro. We don't do that here. Scooter the U Smith, $10 super chat. Count on Vince and Bruce to team Io up, Io Shirai and Asuka up, similar to the Kabuki Warriors, and relegate Io and Asuka to tag team burial. Io might not become women's champ on the main roster like Kyrie did not. Then she shouldn't be called up. Then she shouldn't be called up. Braun Strowman, Hologram in the chat says Braun Strowman is dating Raquel Gonzalez, Shady. Well, he might not be as dumb as we all think he is. Good for him, I guess. How does it feel that his woman is more successful than he is? And a better wrestler than he is, too. Michael Mirza with a $10 super chat. I'm calling 555 Goon for front row seats for tomorrow's OTS review. I'll be drinking whatever your recommendation is, my good man. Bro, anything I recommend is good shit. She might be, though. I don't know, man. I don't know where you're getting this information from. Chris with a $9.99 super chat. Just got home from work. Gonna watch a review when it's uploaded to the channel. Her takeover night one was a great show. Hi to Raquel. Look with that championship in her hand. She looked great, man. I have no problem with her winning the title. Tenorio128 with a $5 super chat. Do you think Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez look like sisters? No. Maurice with a $1.99. AEW or NXT? I want to see more Meiko Satomura. She's nice. They all eventually jumped to NXT, man. She's working NXT UK right now because of travel restrictions. I'm sure it's probably easier for her to work over there. When everything is more normalized here, I definitely can see Meiko coming over to NXT. Timelli91 with a $9.99 super chat. JD, it's hard to believe that WrestleMania 17 was 20 years ago. Now compare the match card plus build of that pay-per-view with WrestleMania 37. Little to no passion and creativity invested in the build to this Mania. Sad. Timelli, I don't know what you want me to tell you, bro. I've been complaining about this since January. I'm fucking exhausted about complaining how awful WrestleMania's build has been. It's the worst it's ever been, man. Monday's Raw was the worst and most irrelevant go-home show I've ever felt and watched in my entire life. Nothing on that show was of importance at all. Justin Striplin with a $4.99 super chat. I'm sorry, $4.99 super chat. Another great NXT TakeOver show from top to bottom, but again, I gotta mention, it was only missing Mauro Ranallo. Of course it was. Mauro's the GOAT. Mauro is the greatest at his profession. Gregory Benson with a $19.99 super chat. JD, what match are you looking forward to on night 2? Santos Escobar and Jordan Devlin. That's what I'm looking forward to. Cross versus Balor, Cole versus O'Reilly. You didn't even mention the fucking Santos Escobar versus Jordan Devlin match. Why do I gotta go with the two big matches, bro? Usually those matches are matches that could easily disappoint. I'm not really looking forward to Balor versus Cross at all. Cole versus O'Reilly, it's unsanctioned. There's got to be some color in the Cole versus O'Reilly match. But it makes me worry because after Cole loses, where does he go? Where does Adam Cole go? He'll be sitting in Britt Baker's doctor's office begging to be in Jacksonville. That's where he'll be. I think the story sells itself, and I'll be petrified just like I am with EO with Adam. Bro, I've been petrified about Adam Cole's main roster demotion for fucking years now. Should have happened 2 years ago. Furious Nation with a $5 super chat. Fan capacity expanding was what NXT needed tonight, in my opinion. Do you think NXT will ever return to full sale once the pandemic is over? It depends, man. It may not be about the pandemic. It may be a working relationship that is still cordial, but the way WWE has transformed the Capital Wrestling Center, the PC, into the CWC, I doubt they'll go back to full sale. Maybe for one-off shows, maybe for a house show, maybe for a pay-per-view. Who knows? Who knows? But I don't think they'll be back there full-time like they used to be in the past. Envied with a $4.99 super chat. Did Mercedes Martinez leave? If so, they let badass talent go. No, she's there. She was in TakeOver's women's title match at the last TakeOver against EO, Tony, and she was there making it a triple threat match. Tribal Chief with a $5 super chat. Bruce will turn Io Shirai into Maki Ito 2.0, I bet. Bro, Bruce's burial is worse than being Maki Ito 2.0. You don't want to be either one of those things. Jay Whiteside with a $1.99 super chat. Asuka to NXT to take on Raquel for the belt. Keep dreaming, bro. Vince and Bruce are going to let main roster talent go to NXT? No, thank you. They only did it to Charlotte. They let Charlotte do it because they love when Charlotte feasts and berries. Jacob Donnelly with a $100 super chat. Jacob Donnelly. Holy shit. Just joined and I see the review ended. Boo. But here's 100 anyway. Jacob, you're a fucking savage, bro. Bro, you got a lifetime seat. VIP. What are you drinking, man? What are you drinking? Bartholomew Kuma. $5 super chat. JD, you hypocrite. You were Shing Joshi wrestler, but you are a fan of Io Shirai. Confused. Let me tell you something, you fucking geek. Io Shirai is not a Joshi, clown. Fuck your Joshi wrestlers, man. Get the fuck out of my venue. Okay? Do I gotta fucking spell it out for you? Do I need cue cards? Io Shirai is not a Joshi. What a fucking idiot. Go take your $5 and buy yourself a fucking clue. Look at this guy. $5 super chat. How the fuck am I supposed to pronounce your name? Your name looks like a fucking squiggly eyebrow. The fuck is this shit? $5 super chat. You're all pissing me off right now, man. I'm telling you right now. Get him out of here. Get Bartholomew out of here. This guy should be on the fucking Dummy Express with Braun Strowman, man. I should be the fucking conductor of the train, and I'll bring it right to the first educational institution I find. $5 super chat from, What happened to Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir? Who cares? Who cares? They couldn't wrestle. That's what happened to them. They signed WWE contracts to play video games on YouTube with Xavier Woods. That's where they are. Well, we got some common sense here, man. Issa, NYC Demon Diva with a $9.99 super chat donation. Great show tonight. Thanks for all the hard work. You inspired me, and I'm about to hit my first milestone of hopefully many. Thank you for being an inspiration and a friend. Issa's got the comment of the fucking night. Quote of the day, right there. What are you sitting? What are you drinking, Issa? You sitting VIP? Come on. What are you drinking? And don't tell me LeBar's fucking Malibu and Coke like a fucking fairy. Come on. Issa's about to hit 10,000 subs on YouTube. That is a very difficult thing to do nowadays. Trust me. And she's about to do it. Awesome stuff there. Go subscribe. She's been a very good friend of the podcast for many years. And she's doing her thing. Happy to have her here. Shot of rum. You got it. Shot of rum. Furious Nation with a $5 super chat. Io Shirai is not a Joshi. Bartholomew. Bartholomew. God, man, I fucking lost brain cells just by reading his fucking comment. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Kev, LeBar, Malibu and Coke, bro. I love him, but Jesus Christ, we gotta up his drinking game. Well, that's what he used to drink when I seen him in New York City, those SummerSlam weekends. Malibu and Coke. Double. Fuck out of here, man. Just take me to a craft beer bar, please. Let me order the most expensive fucking thing on the menu. Maurice Lionheart Jackson, $1.99 Super Chat. These people should think before they send chats. Some people shouldn't think at all, man. They're a menace to fucking society. Listen, had a great time covering the show tonight, man. Thanks for all that stopped by. We broke it down. We got night 2 ahead of us tomorrow night. Should be the better of the 2 nights. NXT was awesome tonight. It was very refreshing watching NXT tonight do their thing. I can't wait to just watch it as a standalone show on Tuesdays. AEW review to be tomorrow. Jesse and I, 1 p.m. We'll be live on YouTube. We got $5 Super Chat. Squiggly eyebrow, $5 Super Chat. My name is John Cena, and this is Ruthless Aggression. Bartholomew doesn't have Ruthless Aggression. He also has a fucking IQ as big as a box of fucking light bulbs. Anyway, I'm getting out of here, guys. Thank you so much for all of the support. Thank you for the Super Chats. Thank you for everything. Hit that like button. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button. And go check out all the other videos that you might have missed on the channel. And go check out Honey, man. Join honey.com/offthescript and save yourself some money while shopping online. I am getting in the Mustang, man. God, does it look great after I cleaned it. Oh. Windows are down. It's going to be another 65-degree day in Queens tomorrow. I got my cold beverage. That music. Full blast. Full blast. Let me see those guitar emojis in the chat. And I'll see you guys tomorrow for NXT TakeOver Night 2. And then AEW tomorrow afternoon. See you guys later.